I'm excited about the season, excited about where we are, where we're headed. We've had good practices. We had 2 really good scrimmages. Got a chance to see some things, see different people out there together, see different lineups. And just excited to get ready for Monday. First game here in the Wasco, new team, new everything. So just excited. Really need the fan base and the students to be here to help support us. But I don't have another word for you except we're excited because I think we have a chance to be pretty good if we can stay the path and continue on where we're headed. But it's a process. It'll go throughout the year. We'll mold and grow as the year goes. Open it up for questions.
Jay, what did you see in the 2 scrimmages that you like, that you still feel you have to work on?
What I liked is I felt like our identity and what we talked about started to show from the first scrimmage to second scrimmage, and just growing into who I think we have to be to consistently win games, and that starts on the defensive end. Just being able to really guard, really compete on that end, and then finishing possessions with rebounding. So I was excited that that kind of started to show and create and mold our identity through that, and then you got to work on everything. It's a lot. It's a lot still to work on. It's a lot to get to where we need to get to be able to compete at the highest level every day.
Can you talk about? I think you're gonna have more size this year, big, strong, and defense. Can you just talk about those being kind of the pillars for this team? Is that what you're looking for? Is that what might look a little different from what we've seen from you on basketball in the past?
Yeah, that was kind of my thought process in building this team. Is in the first year, in year 1, I wanted to be able to be big positionally and have great positional size. I wanted to be able to really defend and really rebound. I felt like if we could cover those 3 things, it gives you a lot of versatility, but it also gives you an opportunity in every game because most games are won in basketball. That's what we call the trenches, and the rebounding and the physicality battle. So I wanted to at least be able to be competitive in every game when it came to that, and then the rest of it comes down to just situations and things that go on from that nature.
Who are some of the players that really personify those attributes on this team?
We have a few of them. The team is kind of built that way. I would say 1 through 11, where everybody, I'd say some of the ones that have really, I guess, embraced it and carry over. One of the freshmen, we have Sheldon Henderson, just with his size, his mass, his physicality, the way he plays. And then the transfers, they've played big-time basketball. They came from leagues that kind of play that way, with Trey and Malik being in the Big Ten. That's kind of Big Ten has played in the physical pace, and Ernest being in the Big 12. That competition level. So in picking it and building this team, I kind of really wanted it to shape and be that way. And I think me and my staff, we did a good job of being able to do that.
Jay, I think you said we spoke to you last week that you still have some things you're going to try out different lineups. So
Yep.
have you kind of settled on starting 5, or is it still kind of in flux?
It's kind of in flux, and I use the scrimmage to kind of go through all the lineups that I had in mind. And the one thing that I learned from the scrimmage is we have the ability to kind of adjust and adapt and be versatile, which I'm excited about. We have the ability, what people would say, play small, where we could just say we put Malik Renault at the 5, but we also can play big with him at the 4. And we're able to do a bunch of different things. So that's what I'm mainly excited about.
Is everyone healthy, or is there anyone dealing with injuries?
Everybody's healthy for the most part. We're dealing with little, minor aches and pains, but nothing too serious. You have a sprained ankle or a pulled hamstring there, but for the most part, everybody is healthy.
Coach, with Sheldon, you'll obviously learn more about this when the season starts, but just through what you've seen in practice, how has he been adjusting to the game speed element of college basketball and I guess just the overall physicality of it? Has that been a smooth transition for him?
It's practice. So, after a while, the first couple of practices, it takes time, but in the scrimmages, he fit in. You couldn't tell that he was a freshman by the way he played. One thing that has always impressed me about Sheldon is just his poise on the court and being even keeled and having a great temperament the whole time playing the game. So just his ability to show that in the 2 scrimmages. Now he's still a freshman, so there's still a learning curve, and there's still going to be a wall that he hits, and I expect that, and just having those conversations with him and looking forward to helping him through that, and so he can continue to be a good player for us.
Coach, we've seen you do a number of on-campus engagement things with the student body. Talk about the impact that they could have for you, and why it's been important for you to get involved with them.
Huge. It's huge. I've been here before when I've seen this place. What it looks like. 2 years ago when we came and they beat the life out of us. You know what I mean? And they beat us by 20 plus points. So I've seen what the building could look like. And just having a home court advantage, especially in the ACC, especially in year one, is going to be big for us. So that support is needed, and for me to do whatever to make them and help them feel a part of it and feel like this team is theirs, I'll do whatever. But their impact is going to be huge for us, especially moving forward with this year.
Are you sensing a level of excitement? And, you know, right now there's so much focus on the football team right now, deservedly so. You know, they're a top 10 team and all that. And this is a whole new team. No one knows any of the players. No one knows you yet. Do you feel the excitement yet and the buzz, or do you think it's something that you guys are going to have to prove people and bring them along? How do you feel going into Monday's game?
It's both. I think there's, of course, excitement because it's something new and unknown, and that people are excited about something different. I think that's where we are, but also, you know, you have to put something out there that they want to come see. I think we'll play an exciting brand. We'll be fun to watch. When you watch us, you're going to see our grit and our competitive nature and our competitive spirit as a team. So you won't ever turn on the TV and be like, oh, I don't know if Miami's competing or not. That's a non-negotiable for me, but for the program as well. So I think we kind of check all those boxes, but it's also I know and understand it's first you got to build it, and then they'll come type of situation as well. So I'm excited about that as well.
I know when you were building the team, you talked about bringing a lot of people that had Miami or at least Florida ties to sort of create a connection when you have to connect so quickly in this era of transfer portal. How do you feel the team chemistry is?
It's a work in progress. It's something that is the biggest thing, I think, in most programs in this NIL era and this transfer portal era is how quick can you become a team and how quick can you become connected. We have 11 new players. It's a process, that will happen throughout the year. I think slowly but surely we're getting there. Are we where we need to be? October 28th, no. Am I excited where we are right now? Yes. But I know in the long run we're not exactly where we need to be yet.
There's obviously a lot of talk about, you know, building team chemistry, but same thing kind of goes for the coaching staff. I mean, obviously everyone coming in from everywhere else. So just how have you guys built your relationships just since since everyone got here and you brought in everyone on staff? Just how have you guys started working together? How's everyone kind of gelled out?
Time spent is a big part of it, and then also, you know, in coaching and in basketball, you kind of overlap with people. So there were a lot of built-in relationships of everybody kind of knowing each other already, but working together is completely different and getting everybody under one roof in the same building. But it's been, you know, everybody that is a part of the program is in the foxhole, and I feel that way, and that's what I'm excited about. Everybody is only focused on winning and making sure our players are getting better and making sure they have everything that they need.
Can you talk about Dante Allen? I think you mentioned him earlier, someone whose competitive nature is something that keeps showing. What do you think he'll bring?
You know, for me, I tell Dante he's probably one of the players that I've recruited the most without recruiting. Because these last 3 years recruiting players that he played with and knowing Coach Moran, I've got to see him a lot. And I always said if I was somewhere that would value everything Dante does, I would recruit him. And I just happened to get this job, and it just happened that, you know, him going to Villanova didn't work through, and he was able to come here. But his impact on winning and being focused on that is what he brings every day. Like when he's on the court, we like to call him a connector. He just makes connecting plays. He makes the right read. He's going to make a deflection or get a rebound, and just his impact on making winning plays is what will be felt and what will be seen.
There's a lot that's been said about your defensive background, but on the other end, how would you describe your offensive identity, and is there a coach that you credit who helped you kind of, you know, establish that offensive identity of yours?
You know, I wouldn't say it was one coach. I guess it's been, I like to call myself a chameleon of all the coaches I've kind of been around. And the one thing I did take from everywhere I've been is that you have to do what fits your personnel. And so I can't come out here and say we're going to play a certain way and it doesn't fit my personnel. I had to adjust to what we have and how we have here. And I know our size and our athleticism is something that we have to take advantage of. And so playing fast, being able to play in transition, being able to play in secondary and getting the ball moving and opening up driving lanes and just creating space is a big part of what we'll do.
Coach, speaking about your personnel, what's one area that you feel like this team can surprise a lot of people?
I think our offensive ability and our ability to shoot the ball is one thing that will surprise a lot of people. I think, you know, most people look at us and see that we are built on defense, and defense is our identity and what we'll hang our hat on. But on the other end, I think we'll be able to surprise a lot of people with how good we are offensively.
Coach, you have 3 international auditions.
Yep.
I expect Noam, with his experience and shooting ability, will contribute. Are either of the 2 bigs, Altunis or Malavik, do you expect anything from them as freshmen?
Yeah. Timo is a guy who's played high level. Malavik, we call him Timo. He's played high level European basketball. He's one of the best shooters on the team already. And his size, he's 6'8", 6'9". His ability to play on the wing, play out of actions will be needed, like you talked about with Noam, another ball handler and floor spacer, as we like to call him, with his shooting ability. And then Solid, he's a mountain of a man. You'll get to see him later. I think all of them will have an impact throughout the year and throughout the games. You know, all 3 of them had their spots in the scrimmages, but you know, Solly, Timo, and Noam have really made their imprint. I would say Solly has done the best job so far of being able to make his imprint with battling with Ernest every day at that center position. So I'm excited about all 3 of them.
He's young.
He is. He's 19, but when you see him, he doesn't look 19 when you see him in person, but he is 19.
We'll wrap up here on the right.
Yeah, Coach, speaking on Shelton Henderson some more, obviously there's another true freshman in Miami making some big waves, taking the spotlight now, kind of Tony for football. Do you think Henderson could be the next young star in line for Miami come basketball season?
I hope so. I mean, if he's as good as what they call baby Jesus, if he's as good as that, we're having a good year. But I think he has the opportunity to. I think his impact on the game will be seen right away. And like we talked about his poise earlier, but also his ability to make everyone better. Is one thing I think is underrated for him. People will look at him and see him and think he's just some downhill physical presence, but his basketball IQ and his ability to pass and make reads will be something that surprises a lot of people. And he's a guy who will play 4 positions for us. You know, we can put him at the 4. He'll play some point guard. He'll play on the wing. So we'll use him all over the court.
Is there a player here reminds you of considering you've developed some dynamic bigs before, like Jared Allen, Mobamba, like is there a guy in particular?
No, I think the person who comes to mind when watching the NBA, Stephon Castle, and how he was used and how they played him in UConn, and how he's being used in the NBA as you know, a guy with multiple positions. And then Shelton also has the ability to be a lockdown defender as well. And so I like to use that as his kind of player comp, but he's also his own person and his own too.
He's 6'6", 240. Has he ever played tight end?
He has never played tight end, and nobody better come in the building trying to recruit him to play tight end.